This is the Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai. Check out the Southtown Hyundai Advantage at southtownhyundai.ca.
What have you been locked in or out of? Jenna was talking about this yesterday, and the comment section on Facebook's hilarious.
Yeah. So Eleni wrote, I'm late to the chat. So obviously this is one of Jenna's friends because they were laughing together and talking about their past. But her friend sounds hilarious. She says, years ago, my best friend and I were coming home from the bar. She had her keys, but the door just wouldn't open. We tried for a while. Then we called her uncle, because that's who she was renting the house from. This was around 2 a.m.
Oh, no.
He said he would come and assist. When he finally arrived, he drove up, got out of the car, and asked, what the heck are you two doing? We said, we're trying to get in the house, obviously. He shook his head and pointed next door to the house we should have been at.
Yeah, awesome. I remember Grant, who does the morning show next door to us, when we were partying in Jasper, he ended up going to the front desk at a hotel and really tearing into the guy about how it's ridiculous that his key wouldn't work. And he had a swipe key with him, and the guy showed him actual keys, and he's like, "I think you're at the wrong hotel. We don't even have that system here." So I don't know what he was. He just tapping his card against the door handle.
He thought it was a Visa. Well, that's what's crazy about those places in Jasper. If you've never been before, they all kind of look the same.
Yeah, from the street view, they sure do. I get that.
Sabrina wrote, when I was visiting Ottawa with a friend, we went on this haunted tour. They took us to the Ottawa jail hostel. The top floor was still set up like a jail, and the tour guide took all 13 of us into a cell where they then started telling ghost stories. But the guide failed to mention that the cell door does lock, and a kid ended up pulling the door closed behind him. All of us and the tour guide were then locked in the cell.
No. I wonder how long they were there for.
Yeah. They said they called down and some of the employees came to help let them out.
That would have been scary, though.
That is so scary.
Alana said we purposely locked our babysitter out of the house when we were a kid. Solid move.
Think of how much trouble you'd be in.
Well, but for that few moments before you open the door knowing you're in trouble, you had some freedom.
Do you remember that long weekend that we went to a ball tournament and I drove, and it was the first year that you had Gordon, your puppy, and we took my SUV. We stopped in the middle of nowhere on the way back. Where was that ball tournament? Edson? No.
No, it was near
further than that.
near Stettler.
But we stopped at this random Boston Pizza for a couple drinks, and I started my car because I wanted the AC to be pumping. But I ended up opening the car and putting the keys in the ignition and then closing the door and taking Gordon for a pee. Nobody was in the car, and I didn't realize it at the time. I had just gotten this vehicle that when your car stops running, the doors automatically lock.
Right.
So I locked my keys in the car, locking all of us out. Thankfully, the dog wasn't in the vehicle. But this was on a Monday of a long weekend, so nothing was open. Mm-hmm. Nobody could come and help. Then all of a sudden, we got a hold of this random dude who came with a coat hanger.
Luckily, we were at a Boston Pizza. Right now, I would actually take that whole experience again just to be on a patio with a ball team.
You know what? You're right.
So I don't know if anybody was actually all that mad at you because there was beer and you were driving, so we were fine.
I felt terrible. Joelle said, okay, again, we're talking about times you've been locked in or out of things. She says, I got stuck in an Anytime Fitness locker room. I was stuck in there for at least a half an hour or more. I called my dad, tried to call the front desk multiple times. I eventually got through and they let me out. My dad showed up too. Okay, I love dads. Of course he showed up.
See, how much would you rather get stuck in at a pub than at a gym?
Yeah, you're right.
Have a rule for your phone as an adult, because I'm thinking I need to put one in place.
I don't have any rules.
You're on it right now
I know.
At work.
What app should I open? What should I look at?
So yesterday I was like, well, I'm done with my phone. I've been on it too much. The Oilers are out. They should be playing right now. So I was kind of bummed.
What time was this at?
8:30.
Okay.
I wasn't quite tired enough to go to bed. Tried playing vids for 15 minutes. That wasn't doing it for me. I was like, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to my deck. I'm going to read because I have this book that I really want to get into and I haven't yet. Couldn't find it. So then I was like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll draw while listening to a podcast. So I went couldn't find my daughter's pencil sharpeners, and for some reason she thought it was a good idea to break the lead off of all of her pencils. So I'm not confident enough in my drawing because I never do it to like use a pen. So I'm like, well, that's not going to work. So I end up just laying on my front deck, back on my phone and scrolling again.
What were you scrolling
So
through?
sick of scrolling. I'm scrolling through hot takes that aren't hot takes. I'm scrolling through people's jokes that they stole and I'm pretending that they're their own. I'm scrolling through pictures of people pretending that they're living a happy life.
Face tuning their baby.
Yes, there's just something happening right now. And maybe I'm just missing like true friendship interactions. It all feels like a bit of a facade right now. You know what I
It
mean?
just feels weird. We're in a weird phase right now
Yeah.
where like you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you're still sitting at home staring at the wall.
Yeah, it's strange. You have a rule for your phone. What is it?
No more dating apps.
Why is that?
Because they're designed to trick your mind into what true value is, and it's all based on getting attention, which just really isn't true value at all.
So you just think that people use it as like a way to just keep themselves occupied all day? They don't actually want to go on a date?
Well, how many times do you check your phone and you see that dating app notification and you get excited? You don't know who it is yet. You got a new match. Who's interested in you?
Yeah, it's just like a little blast of adrenaline, I suppose.
Some endorphins.
But then those run out, and then you're like, oh, what's next? I don't know.
107.
So a dad wanted to do something special for his kid who was graduating high school. It's a tough go right now. I mean, you look back and like, graduation was one of the biggest moments that you could think ahead to celebrate. And then after you were done, you're like, oh, why did I think so much about that?
Yeah,
But
why was I so emotional?
if you never got to have it, you'd never know that it wasn't quite as impactful as you thought, but still pretty special. So I feel bad for all the high school students, that are graduating this year and that graduated last year that had to miss out on that. He wanted to do something special for his kid. So he reached out to a bunch of celebrities in hopes that they would give some advice. And then that took off from there, and more of them joined in. And now there is a 21-page book of quotes from celebrities speaking to these graduates and answering the same question. If you could go back and tell your high school graduate self one thing, what would it be?
Mine would be draw on your eyebrows, Lisa. You forgot to do that.
for the grad pictures. But yeah, they stepped up in a big way, from Peyton Manning to an Olympic gold medalist swimmer. Some of my favorite quotes from it were, question everything and never turn down an adventure. That's from a House representative. There was one that I really liked from a former bachelor and entrepreneur, Ben Higgins. And he said, if I could go back and tell my younger self one thing when I graduated high school, it would be to be present in every moment, to not wish to be older or try to become younger, to enjoy the moments and the memories made with friends, to explore uncomfortable challenges, to say yes to life's journeys, to create stories with friends, family, and strangers, and to know that each of us have a purpose, value, and that we all have a story to create and tell.
Wow.
I really like the part about, like, don't waste your time wishing you were older or trying to become younger. You are who you are. Enjoy it. That's a pretty powerful thing to say. Anyway, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me something good.
A man named Rob Adamson in England saw there were way too many swans who had their eggs near the water that eventually lost them to either, foxes or the high water levels.
Okay.
And the eggs would just float away. So there was one point where he said, you know what, I can't not do anything. He says you're not supposed to interfere, which we know that. If you see eggs, especially like robin's eggs and stuff, do not move them, do not touch them. But he said it got to the point where I knew they were going to die. I couldn't go to bed, and I knew I would regret it if I didn't help. So during the night, he made this makeshift raft and put it along the bank and moved the nest with the eggs in it while the swan parents were watching and hissing at him. How scared would you be?
Terrified.
Because they look beautiful and elegant. They are terrifying birds, but they ended up actually letting him do the thing. And the babies are alive.
Hey, that's a cool story. Good for him.
Tell me something good.
This is Unsung Heroes, where we give shout-outs to people, places, and things that don't always get the attention they deserve. Lisa, fire away.
Shout out to things reopening and mentally preparing to see your coworkers at the office again in, excuse me, June or July? Can't we wait until September so it feels like the beginning of a school year? Don't ruin everyone's summer like that. Oh, it's time to go back to the office. Happy July. No.
Okay.
It's summer vacation.
Well, I got a positive about that for my first Unsung Hero. Shout out to a very likely full workplace again someday soon.
Okay.
And playing a game in your head called Who Aged the Most?
That's terrible. Shout out to all the parents who forgot to empty their kids' lunch kit out from the last time they were in a classroom. It's moments like that that make me think I'd be a great parent, because all I'd pack are fruit snacks and granola bars. They don't rot.
Good picks, too.
They don't rot.
Popular choices.
Yeah.
And a shout out to the Oilers being eliminated a couple nights ago, then going outside to catch a few breaths to realize you've completely neglected your lawn because of playoffs. At least you got something to do.
Shout out to women who decide their cycle is done on their own terms. But we're 99.9% wrong every single month.
Tell me about it. Shout out to Kelly Clarkson, who sings.
Ryder, she has a great daytime television show.
Where she sings a lot. Like, we get it. You can sing.
James Corden does the same thing. He always tries to steal the spotlight from his guests. It drives me crazy.
Right?
Shout out to people who ask you what's new. Ugh, please don't do this. Don't do this to me. Only ask someone what's new if you hate them, because the answers are painful. Nothing is new. Thanks for bringing it up.
And finally, shout out to restrictions on adult sports possibly lifting so we can get out there and injure ourselves.
You better stretch.
You know how long it's been since I've briskly ran? You think I can scoop up that hard grounder when the only hand-eye coordination activity I've been doing is trying to hit my mouth with my drink without spilling?
Dude, I tried to pick up a stick the other day to throw it, and I threw my back out instead.
Oh, yeah, adult sports. Gonna be real awesome soon.
Play 107.
Looking for your spring Livin well hacks at 780-784-7107. This after I saw a meme that really cracked me up.
What was it?
Where somebody...
I don't even know what it is, but I'm already laughing with you.
You draw a mosquito on your hand.
Okay.
And, like...
What do you mean? Like you draw with a pen on your the palm of your hand?
Sure, like with a black pen, and then maybe even get a little bit of red and put it around there. And then you can just slap somebody and go, oh, mosquito, and you get one free slap.
That's your hack.
That's a good hack. I'm willing to like go all the way with this and maybe get it tattooed. And then I can just slap people and be like, got it. Everybody would be thankful.
I'm sure your friends are really excited for things to open back up so they can hang out with you.
Oh, that cracked me up, though. But yeah, I wanted to know, like, what's your best spring hack? This text is exactly why I asked this question. 5-gallon buckets are game changers. They're chairs. They're places to throw weeds. I can carry things in them. If I need to move water, done. I fill my backyard with 5-gallon pails.
Sweet decor.
No, but you can stack them and hide them too.
Okay. I like Jenna's hack. Listen, it's springtime. She says if you want to wear something white or light in color, you have to wear underwear that matches the color of your skin, not white. Because then you can see your underwear right through it. If you wear like a white t-shirt with a white bra, it doesn't work. You have to wear beige or your skin color.
You know what? I feel like white underwear are a thing of the past, and I'm sad about it.
What do you mean?
Well, I just have always thought like that the white is the prettiest. We don't need to get into that.
Okay. Pretty sure you still own a white thong that you bring out to every party. Like I said earlier, I'm sure everyone's really excited to hang out with you again. Okay, so my spring hack is my sister is so good at convincing me to buy things. And I feel like she does this on purpose to feel better about the purchases that she makes, so she has less guilt. She suggested the Windex window cleaner, but not the one that you just like spray manually.
Okay.
There's one that attaches right onto the end of your hose, and then you can spray all of the windows like way up top outside.
You don't have to wipe them after?
No, nothing.
You just spray them and it's done.
Miracle. It's a miracle.
All right. Good to know.
And
Why?
it's fun.
Like you rent a room at the house. Why? Why
I've used it.
My windows seem very dirty this spring, though.
Okay, well, I haven't used it yet this spring. It's barely spring. We just had May long.
Yeah, just kidding.
I'm going to spray you with it right in the eye.
This text says, for my backyard work, I have a few tools that are cheap that I'm willing to sacrifice every year. And I just leave them in different pots and stuff so that I always have the tool that I need when I'm in the backyard. And they get rusty and they get crappy and they break, but they were cheap, so I don't care.
Rachel wrote in saying, train yourself and your roommates or kids to always keep an eye out for things that need to go in the direction that you're going in the house. Hashtag spring cleaning. If you're about to go downstairs, is there an item nearby that needs to go with you? Perhaps a cup that needs to be brought to the sink.
Okay.
I like that. That sounds like a really annoyed parent, too.
Yeah,
you are done.
That doesn't have much to do with spring, but we'll take it.
It's time for the Nostalgia Off with Ryder and Lisa.
From Ustara and Company.
Play 107.
All right, this is it. You fire off a list of 5 things that bring you back to a better day, and I will do the same.
Yeah, I'm ready.
And then the listeners decide whose list is better. You look very confident today.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody who votes qualified to win a $50 prepaid Visa from Ustara and Company. Thanks to them for that. Well, you got a text because I said you have to spend it recklessly from Jasmine saying she bought pizza with hers last week. So we're good to go.
It's perfect.
Yeah. And the wager today between you and me on this contest is going to be that the winner gets to read the loser's search history live on air.
Perfect.
When we announce the winner. Okay. You ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
You seem real confident.
I'm so excited to win today.
Let's get it.
Home ec class where you finally got to eat the cookies or banana muffins.
All right. Sharpening your already sharp pencil just so you could walk by your crush in class.
Ryder, that's exactly mine. You looked at my sheet.
I promise I did not.
Mine says walking past your crush in the classroom to use the pencil sharpener.
Ooh. Sorry. I promise. I saw a picture of a sharpened pencil, and that's what made me think of it.
I'm so mad. The run home after school trying not to pee your pants.
Being unable to resist putting on the shower cap in a hotel shower.
What?
You'd have to. You'd just be sitting there. You're like, what's this all about?
Going to your friend's house and being terrified of their dad.
No, you stole mine.
What do you mean? You have that on your list today?
No, mine's better, but close.
No.
Waking up at a sleepover first and having to just lay there and wait for your buddy to wake up because you didn't want to have to talk to their parents alone.
When Abercrombie and Fitch opened in the mall and you were super intimidated to ask to try things on. You're like, what's the system here? Also, I can't see anything. And it smells. I have a migraine.
Popping open your Motorola Razr like you were the CEO of a company.
Do I have to think of a new one because you stole my pencil sharpener one?
I did not steal anything. I came up with it and prioritized it on my list before you did.
Okay, I'm going to just make one up on the spot. TGIF Fridays. Spring of the Teenage Witch. Boy Meets World. You know the drill.
All right. And my last one is unveiling your new Vans on the first day of school. Play 107, it's Ryder and Lisa. This is amazing. So I won Nostalgia Off today. The bet is that the loser had to give up their phone and the winner gets to read a few things they find in their search history. A dangerous game to play, no doubt. We wanted to congratulate Sam first, though, for winning the prepaid Visa from Ustara and Company. Thanks to them for sponsoring the segment.
Yeah.
And congratulations to Sam. All right. Some of the things that I found in Lisa's search history. I think I need some music for this.
This is a great reminder to clear your search history on your phone because I don't even know.
I think
as soon as I think of something, I Google it,
You
right?
lose a lot of your saved passwords if you do that, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like that's a thing.
You're just trying to make me not clear my history from now on.
So it just gets juicier. Why were you Googling Brad Pitt on Wikipedia, Lise?
Oh, I watched Fight Club for the first time. So I did a deep dive because it's Brad.
Yeah, all right.
I always do that when I'm interested in a character or an actor. Mm-hmm. I'll read into their entire life story.
You're a little bit embarrassed over there. You're twirling your fingers a bit.
Yeah.
Next up, on Google, Bloody Mary is just ketchup on ice. Is something that you Googled?
Yeah, I don't know why I wrote it as a statement and not a question.
Maybe you thought it, were thinking about tweeting it, wanted to make sure nobody else has made that joke yet. Would that be possible?
Well, no, I've just heard that it's basically ketchup, and I've never had a Bloody Mary.
Oh.
So I've had a Caesar, but that's different.
Yeah, it's just tomato juice instead of clam, so a little bit thicker.
Yeah, it's ketchup.
Next up, how busy is Dwayne Johnson?
Oh, okay. I have a reason for that. I was talking about Dwayne Johnson on air, and I wanted to know his schedule. Did you know he wakes up at 3 a.m. every single day?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Martha Stewart's ears.
She has the biggest ears. I Google that annually.
And finally, do adult teeth grow? Is a question that you asked.
Well, I was just curious because I feel like one of my teeth keeps growing.
Okay.
Like getting longer and longer.
While there is even a saying about adult teeth growing, it's not true.
Oh.
While teeth can appear longer, they usually do not grow in size. It's the gums that recede sometimes that make them look bigger. So there you go. Lisa's search history, far less embarrassing than I was hoping for.
Now give me my phone back so I can Google if receding gum lines are bad.
Yes, they're bad. Brush your teeth.
I do. Today is National Sunscreen Day.
Okay.
So I just wanted to put it out there that it's very important to be wearing your sunscreen. What's this? Oh, PSA music. Thank you.
Yeah, public service announcement. I just thought it was fitting.
Even if it's cloudy out, you should be wearing that screen. Even in the winter, you should be wearing sunscreen. Can you turn it down a little bit? It's a little loud.
Wait until the beat kicks in.
I do think it is important to be having sunscreen on the top of your hands, especially if you drive a lot. Sides of your face, even apply it to your ears and your neck.
Do people...
Yes.
I know you should, but do people put sunscreen on in the winter in Edmonton?
They should. Yes.
You do?
Well, I try to.
See, this is one of those things that you should do. It's like flossing.
No. I've recently started buying moisturizer, and I put moisturizer on my face every day that has built-in SPF. So yes, every day.
Now there's a hack. Get yourself some moisturizer with SPF in it.
I even have one that's tinted, so it's pretty much like makeup too. And it's protecting you from the sun. Listen, I hate the sun, so I'm all for sunscreen.
All right.
Go sunscreen, go. It's expensive though.
Ryder and Lisa.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai.
Play 107.